Welcome to the 21st Century Man podcast. We're doing something a little different today, kind of a special deep dive.
Yeah, we're focusing on one specific chapter from the book that really kicked this whole thing off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How your immune system works. Today we're digging into chapter 20.
And it's such a foundational chapter, isn't it?
Right.
It's by Dr. Judson Brandeis and Dr. Scott Liu. It really it explores what's probably the most powerful therapeutic tool we actually possess, our own immunity.
It really is amazing. And the chapter kicks off with some uh, pretty striking historical perspective. It reminds us that, until the early 20th century, infectious diseases were the main cause of death. Period.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine now. And the book draws that direct line. As those diseases decline, life expectancy just shot up.
It really puts things in perspective because, with modern medicine, maybe we got a bit complacent about our built-in defenses.
I think that's exactly the point the authors made. We sort of forgot how crucial this system is, working away in the background all the time.
And then, well, COVID-19 happened.
Right. A huge wake-up call.
It really hammered home how vital the immune system is, but also its vulnerabilities, especially with age or chronic conditions. Suddenly, everyone was talking about immunity.
Absolutely. And that's the core message here, I think. Despite all the medical breakthroughs, which are fantastic, of course, our own immune system is still, fundamentally, our most critical protection. It's the foundation.
Okay, so let's dive into how it actually works. The chapter breaks it down, starting with the first line of defense.
Yeah.
Like the outer walls of the castle, sort of.
Yeah, the initial barriers. And the first ones they talk about are the skin and the mucus membranes, things we maybe don't appreciate enough.
Right. Skin, they call it a massive layer of saran wrap, which is a great visual.
It is. But it's not just plastic wrap, obviously. It's complex fatty acids, connective tissue, blood vessels. It's a real physical barrier stopping microbes from just waltzing in.
And they make a really practical point here, an actionable takeaway. Basic hygiene, hand washing, showering.
Seems obvious, but they explain why. It's the mechanical action of washing that physically removes microbes. And crucially, soap is way bigger than just water.
Good reminder. Simple stuff, but it works.
Definitely. Then there's mucus. Not the most glamorous topic, maybe?
No.
But incredibly important. In your nose, sinuses, mouth, throat, lungs, gut. It's like this sticky trap for bacteria and particles.
Catches them so we can get rid of them.
Exactly. And these mucus membranes, especially in the respiratory and GI tracts, they're not sterile. They're home to our microbiome beneficial bacteria.
Oh, the good guys.
Right. And they actually help outcompete the harmful pathogens. It's like they're defending their turf.
And some of these membranes have cilia, tiny hairs.
Yeah, microscopic hairs. In the respiratory system, they're constantly moving that mucus, the trapped germs, outwards. That's what drives coughing and sneezing, getting that stuff out.
Makes sense. And they make a point about smoking damaging those cilia.
A really important point. Smoking paralyzes them, basically weakening that crucial clearing mechanism.
Okay, so barriers first. Then the chapter moves to temperature and acid-alkaline balance, pH.
That's right. Temperature first. We all hate having a fever, right?
Definitely.
But the book explains it's actually a deliberate defense. Your body cranks up the heat to make it harder for bacteria to grow. You're essentially trying to cook them, slow them down.
So it's a feature, not a bug, really.
Pretty much. Most microbes, like a specific temperature range, fever messes with that. And they even mention saunas, as a way people have historically tried to mimic that therapeutic fever effect.
Interesting. Okay, what about the acid side? Stomach acid.
Now, this I found really fascinating. We hear so much about too much stomach acid, right? Heartburn, antacids.
Yeah, constantly.
But this chapter flips that. It stresses how vital that hydrochloric acid in your stomach is for killing bacteria and parasites in our food. It's a major protection against food poisoning.
So maybe popping antacids all the time isn't always the best idea.
Well, it makes you think, doesn't it? The authors even suggest that for some people, the problem might be too little stomach acid, not too much.
Really?
Yeah, and they propose a simple sort of self-test, trying a very low-dose betaine HCl supplement, like 250 milligrams, with a meal, just to see if your digestion feels better.
Huh. And if you get a bit of heartburn from that small dose?
That might actually suggest your own acid levels are probably okay. It's just an interesting low-risk thing to observe for yourself based on their suggestion.
Okay, interesting stuff. What's the final part of this first line of defense?
Inflammation.
Ah, the big one. Usually sounds bad.
Well, the book makes a key distinction. Inflammation itself isn't bad. It's the body's response to infection or injury. It means your immune system is on the scene doing its job.
Okay, so like when you get a cut and it gets red and warm.
Exactly. That's acute inflammation. It's beneficial, helps control infection, starts the healing. The problem is chronic inflammation.
Right, the low-grade simmering kind.
Yeah, when the initial response doesn't switch off properly or the trigger is persistent, that's when it can start contributing to bigger problems down the line. And they give some really good examples of triggers.
Like what?
Well, low-grade chronic infections. They mention H. pylori, the bacteria linked to stomach ulcers, and that amazing story about Dr. Barry Marshall.
Oh, the guy who drank the bacteria.
Yeah, to prove it caused ulcers, and he won a Nobel Prize for it. Just
Yeah.
incredible dedication.
Yeah. Okay, what else triggers chronic inflammation?
Food sensitivities are mentioned, like gluten sensitivity for some people, and then environmental toxins, things maybe we don't always think about.
Like,
Toxic mold, heavy metals, pesticides, even some common household cleaning products, stuff you might be exposed to regularly without realizing the cumulative effect.
that's a bit unsettling.
It is, and this ties into systemic inflammation. A healthy immune system manages inflammation, keeps it in check. But when it becomes chronic, the book explains how it can worsen conditions like arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's. It really links back to so many major health issues.
Okay, so let's recap that first line. We've got the physical barriers, skin, mucus, then temperature, including fever, then acid-alkaline balance, especially stomach acid, and finally, inflammation. Quite a set of initial defenses.
Absolutely. A multi-layered approach right from the start.
So what happens if something gets past those barriers?
Then we move to the targeted defenses. This is where the immune cells, the foot soldiers, as the book calls them, and antibodies, the artillery, come into play.
Okay, the specialized forces.
Exactly. If the first line is about keeping invaders out, these guys hunt down threats that have already breached the walls. We're talking trillions of microscopic cells, incredibly diverse, all tasked with identifying and attacking, well, anything harmful.
Bacteria, viruses.
Molds, fungi, parasites, even cancer cells, allergenic food particles, cellular junk. You name it, they're like the body's military police.
And they mention phagocytes,
Yeah.
a type of white blood cell.
Yeah, and the numbers are staggering, like 24 to 33 billion in the average guy. These cells are just cruising through your bloodstream and lymph system, constantly patrolling.
Looking for trouble.
And when they find something they don't recognize, they engulf it, literally eat it and digest it with enzymes. Pow,
Yeah.
gone.
Wow. The book uses that analogy of an elite military force.
Yeah, right.
Spies, troops, demolition experts.
Yeah, it really paints a picture because they have all these different roles, protecting us from stuff we breathe in, touch, eat, even exposure during sex. It's constant vigilance.
And here's a fact that blew me away. 70 to 80% of the immune system is located in the gut.
Isn't that incredible? But it makes sense when you think about it. Our biggest exposure to the outside world, to potential pathogens, is through what we eat and drink. So you need the defenses concentrated there.
And this links back to the microbiome again.
Absolutely. Those beneficial gut bacteria are described as peacekeepers. They actively help destroy microbes that could cause food poisoning.
Which is why antibiotics can sometimes cause problems, right?
Yeah.
Wiping out the peacekeepers, too.
Precisely. That disruption can allow harmful bacteria like C. diff, Clostridium difficile, to gain a foothold and cause serious issues.
So, another actionable takeaway here. Supporting your gut health.
Definitely. The chapter emphasizes probiotics and probiotic-rich foods. Things like live culture yogurt, kefir, kombucha, real sauerkraut, kimchi, miso. Stuff like that helps strengthen that gut barrier, supports your internal peacekeepers.
Good advice. Okay, let's get into the different types of white blood cells, the foot soldiers themselves.
Right, the different units. Neutrophils are the most numerous, about 62%. They're the main bacteria and fungi fighters, though they don't live very long, just hours to a few days.
Okay, then lymphocytes.
About 30%. This is a big category. It includes B cells, which are the antibody factories, the artillery makers, and T cells, which are more direct combatants, targeting specific antigens.
And T cells have subtypes.
Yeah, some are short-lived fighters, others become memory cells, sticking around for weeks, sometimes years, providing long-term immunity.
And within T cells, you've got the really aggressive ones. Cytotoxic T cells and natural killer cells. NK cells.
Those are the heavy hitters, yeah.
Yeah.
They go after virus-infected cells and tumors. NK cells are powerful, but sometimes a bit messy. The book mentions they can cause collateral damage, think pus, or that cytokine storm in severe COVID.
Oof. And the cytotoxic T cells.
They're more targeted, using corrosive compounds to eliminate threats directly. precision demolition.
Okay, what else is in the white blood cell family?
Monocytes, about 5%. They can turn into macrophages, the big eaters, cleaning up bacteria and debris, also involved in breaking down old red blood cells in the liver, then smaller percentages. Eosinophils, targeting larger parasites and involved in allergies. And basophils, releasing histamine for inflammation. It's a whole coordinated team.
It really is. The T cells sound particularly important, though, not just as fighters, but as coordinators.
Yes, the book calls them command central. They have crucial leadership roles. You've got regulatory T cells, or Tregs. They manage the whole response, talking to other cells using cytokines, like immune system managers.
Okay, and T helper cells.
They amplify the immune response, kind of rally the troops, and help regulate B and T cells. This is what HIV targets, tragically, which is why it leaves people so vulnerable.
Right, and T suppressor cells.
They're the peacekeepers, essentially. They dial down the immune response after the threat is neutralized. Super important for preventing autoimmunity, stopping the immune system from attacking itself. It's all about balance.
It's incredible, and this all connects back to those blood tests we get, right? The CBC.
Exactly. When your doctor looks at your white blood cell, count the neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, basophils, they're looking for patterns. High neutrophils might mean a bacterial infection. High lymphocytes may be a viral one. It gives them clues about what your immune system is up to.
So those numbers really mean something about this internal battle.
They absolutely do, a window into your immune activity.
Okay, so we've covered the foot soldiers. What about the artillery, the antibodies?
Right, the final section of the chapter. Antibodies are described as microscopic protein fragments. Think of them like targeted shrapnel or smart tags.
What do they target?
Antigens, which the book defines really broadly. Anything that triggers an immune response. Part of a virus, a bacterium, undigested food, pollen, cell debris, anything the body sees as foreign or dangerous.
And the immune cells recognize these antigens how?
Through a lock and key process. A specific antibody or a receptor on an immune cell fits perfectly onto a specific antigen structure on the invader's surface. It's highly specific.
And the antibodies or immunoglobulins, what do they do once they lock on?
They bind to the antigen. This can sometimes neutralize the microbe directly, but often it acts like a tag. It makes the invader sticky, easier to trap in mucus to be sneezed or coughed out or eliminated in stool, or it flags it for destruction by other immune cells.
And there are different types of these antibodies, too.
Yep. 5 main classes, each with different jobs. First, secretory IgA, or SIGA. It's found everywhere: tears, saliva, sweat, gut, lungs. It's a real frontline defender, especially in the gut, helping distinguish between good bacteria and bad ones like E. coli.
Okay, then just regular IgA.
Also crucial for protecting mucous membranes generally. Then IgG. These are involved in longer-term immunity. If you test positive for IgG antibodies, it usually means you've encountered that pathogen or antigen before it's evidence of past infection or exposure.
Like with COVID testing.
Exactly. And interestingly, for food reactions, IgG usually points to a delayed reaction rather than a true immediate allergy.
As that involves IgE.
Right. IgE is for the crisis situations. The full-blown, potentially dangerous allergic reactions, peanuts, shellfish, bee stings, that rapid swelling and inflammation, that's IgE mediated. Very individual responses, though.
Okay, and the last one, IgM.
IgM is usually the first responder antibody made during an active infection. It doesn't stick around like IgG does. So high IgM suggests a current or very recent infection, while high IgG points more to past exposure or recovery.
The book used a library analogy for that, didn't it?
Yeah, like the library needs to quickly make copies, IgM, of a suddenly popular book, and it takes a bit longer to produce the more durable long-term copies, IgG.
Yeah, that makes sense. So antibodies tag the threat.
But they often need backup. The chapter clarifies they usually need T cells to signal other cells, like those phagocytes, to actually come and destroy the tagged invader. It's a team effort.
Got it. And another practical tip here. If you're getting sick a lot?
Yeah, the book suggests a potential first step is getting your total immune globulins tested. If those overall antibody levels are low, it could indicate a generally suppressed immune function, and it might even make other specific antibody tests less reliable.
That's really useful information, something to discuss with your doctor.
for sure. And the chapter notes that labs now test for antibodies to lots of things, common viruses like Epstein-Barr or herpes, Lyme disease bacteria, even different types of mold allergens. Testing has become quite sophisticated.
And they provide some resources for more info.
Yeah, the main book website, the21stcenturyman.com, and also the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology site, AAAI.org, for people who want to dive deeper.
This chapter, chapter 20, is just incredibly thorough, but also really well explained, I thought. It takes this super complex system and makes it understandable.
I completely agree. It gives you such an appreciation for what your body is doing constantly without you even thinking about it. It's really empowering knowledge.
We absolutely recommend reading the whole book, The 21st Century Man, but this chapter alone on the immune system is just fantastic.
A must read for understanding your health, definitely.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into Chapter 20, How Your Immune System Works. We really hope this gave you some valuable insights into, well, the amazing defense force operating inside you right now.
It's a system worth understanding and appreciating, that's for sure. Knowledge is the first step.
And speaking of steps, join us next time. We'll be tackling Chapter 21, Boosting Your Immunity. We'll get into the practical strategies the book suggests for supporting and enhancing this vital system.
Looking forward to that one. Lots of actionable stuff in there, too.
See you then.